Stacia asked, who are you guiding this year? I'm like, Mike Schenkel. She's like, do I know him? I'm like, yeah, you should know him. She's like, is he the guy with the big teeth? Well, I think I got a hacksaw here. I can cut that off.
It was definitely a pack of wolves.
As Mike said, if it's meant to be,
It'll happen. That's right.
we're not just here to shoot a bear. We're here to bear hunt. We're here to experience the wilderness. You come to Alaska, you got to be ready for everything.
Yeah,
That's what makes it hard. That's what makes it challenging. That's what makes it intimidating. That's what keeps most people from doing it. But that's where life is lived. When I get old, I'm going to need plastic surgery and get my eyelids circumcised. But that river does this the whole way. That's life.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's not a linear, straight line shot. Seem to be popping out. Pretty much down to freeze-dried candy bars the last couple of days, and the old bowels are howling like the wolves. Out here, there's no shortcuts. That is the beauty of it. You have to be present. That makes me feel alive. 16 days can darn near feel like a lifetime. Thank you, sir.
Hey, go through it, buddy. Yeah, you guys, check there. If you need anything else, let me know.
He definitely didn't come out where we wanted him. I think we gotta take our chances. Whether it's born from a melting glacier, a spring bubbling straight out of the ground, or a spongy reservoir that draws from a vast watershed, its source is all-powerful and eternal. Without fail, every drop of water obeys the law of gravity and surrenders wholly to the contours and obstacles of the earth before it. As it continues, other tiny rivulets, creeks, and streams converge to join one mission, and a river is born. Every river has a purpose, a cycle, and a destination. While it's perpetual and life-giving, it is ever-changing and yields to no man. For the adventurer, the very same river can, at times, be his best friend or his mortal enemy. But make no mistake, in every river flows the lifeblood of a wilderness. If we don't embrace and respect it, our day of reckoning will come. I have arrived at the cabin. Little squirrely coming in. Real squirrely coming in. It's only blowing about 15, but he was just hitting dead pockets. There, he's hitting some wind. Holy smokes. Oh, I'm glad to be out here. Matt and a fellow guide, Mikey, they're talking about trying to spot kind of a high pass up in the mountains that Mikey hunted a bunch of years ago. And Matt hasn't landed there, and so they were kind of formulating a game plan, talking about it, kind of fine-tuning where exactly it was and what all Mikey had seen and what Matt's seen over the years flying over. And Matt's like, yeah, man, let's give it a shot. It'll be an adventure. That's what we're here for. And yeah, as simple as it was, he's exactly right. The adventure, that's what we're here for. That's what all of us should be here for, at a bare minimum. 25 years, year number 25. They have flown by. Let's make it a good one. Two Alaskan ambers. That'll be just about right. Don't drink much anymore. Kinda hard on an old man. Pretty well set up. Got a dig a latrine. Got water. Did the dishes, swept the floor, did all the housekeeping. And I don't think I've ever been out in bear camp before season so many days before season before either. Today is the 6th. Season opens the 10th. Mike Schenkel. Mike Schenkenbank Schenkel. Guided him a couple of times. Most recently in the Brooks Range for sheep, grizzly, and caribou. Got all three good animals all in one hunt. Real good sheep, real good grizzly bear. And before I left, my kids were asking me if I knew who my client was, and I said, yeah. And I was trying to explain it to them, said his name, they didn't know his name. My wife's like, is that the guy with the big teeth? I said, yeah, that's him. She's like, oh yeah, just say the big teeth guy. So the big teeth guy, he's coming. He's a good dude. Mike shot a big brown bear on Kodiak. I don't think it was quite 10 foot, but he got a really nice bear. Maybe it might have been 10 foot, we'll have to ask him. If it wasn't, it was real close. So he's going to be holding out for a big one. I don't know if he'll get into camp tomorrow. For his sake, hopefully not, because then he'll have to stay sitting here for 2 full days before season opens. But I kind of like it, to be honest. I kind of love the downtime. I don't love it like 100%, but it's good for me. I need it. I need to, yeah. I know a lot of guys don't particularly care for it, but I do. A lot of guys will bring music out and they just want to kind of kill the time, but I just enjoy the opportunity to be still, you reflect a lot, talk to myself a lot. But everything just simplifies, quiets down. And I was thinking this earlier, this is one of those things that people would often say, oh, I would love to do that, or, you know, you're lucky you get to do that. And they're right, I am, but most people honestly wouldn't do it. This is one of those things and one of the parts of not only guiding, but this type of hunting. If you're doing it on yourself, not so much on the guided front, because, you know, if you're on a guided hunt, you're usually going to be with your guide at all times. So you're going to be with somebody. But there is no shortcut for this. And there's nothing there's no way to really prepare yourself for it, you know. In my life, I probably spent, probably close to a year, a couple hundred days at a minimum, by myself in a tent. And that really changes you. I kind of think that's some of the more well-spent time in my life is just the time when I'm totally alone. And I would dare say that's when I recognize that I'm not alone. You know, it's the old cliche, you get out here and it's just you and God, and it really is. It's basically the truth. And I know for me, if I wouldn't have experienced all that time alone and just away from man-made distraction, the rat race of life, the pressures that are on every individual, various types, to just escape that. And it takes a while. It takes days, consistent days. Like, I'm still not out of it, and I know that in about like 2 or 3 days here I'll hit my groove and things will just be simple. You know, like right now I'm kind of thinking about things I should have done before I left, and maybe, I don't have any like earth-shattering regrets, but just thinking, oh, I could have done this for my wife, or I, wish I'd have been there for the kids for this or that, but you'll kind of just come to accept that, and you'll just kind of be wholly present in the wilderness, and you'll kind of set the everyday life off into the back burner, and then really escape modern life. But that's one of the coolest things, coolest parts of this. I would say a person could do that almost no matter where they live, get out in nature, but you'd really have to force yourself to do it. Here, you get dropped off. It just happens by default. You know, there's no walking to the road, or I guess you could check your email here. I don't, but I've got a texting device which I check once, maybe twice a day. But the escape, it's a beautiful thing. And it helps you to recognize how fast things happen. Like, here we are at a 16-day hunt, and day 2 or 3, or these 3-4 days before season starts will go pretty slow, and maybe the first couple of days, or you get a couple of bad weather days, and it seems like, oh man, this is going to be a long one, and then the next thing you know, it's day 14, you shoot a bear, and oof, you're in a plane and you're going home, and time just goes by so fast. What is it? What's the old saying? The days go by slow and the years go by quickly. It's kind of true. I guess we're all not in the present moment and just living each minute to its fullest. I know I sure don't do that. I'm a planner. I plan ahead, and I try to foresee all possible problems, and when you do that, you look back and you just think, whoa, did I enjoy any of that? And these kind of experiences in the wilderness really help you reset and appreciate small things, appreciate the now, appreciate others, appreciate all the blessings you've been given. Shank Bank has arrived. Wind has switched 180 degrees since this morning. Matt's testing that out. Most pilots like you to give the wind direction, and a lot of them will have like streamers or flagging ribbon all over the place, but I kind of appreciate that about Matt. I think he kind of doesn't really care if you do, not that he's going to tell us not to, but he kind of likes to find it himself. I think it's just something that I believe he kind of likes to do to keep himself sharp. So he, never gets complacent or reliant on someone else telling him what the wind is doing. Fair little crosswind there. She's dusty.
Gosh, couldn't get slow on him, so it's just kind of swinging like this.
Yeah, the wind did a total about face. Is that kind of everywhere?
Yeah, it's just kind of,
Yeah, I should have brought my radio out.
It's just kind of weird out there. It's not blowing hard. It's just enough to mess you up.
Stacia asked, "Who you guiding this year?" I'm like, "Mike Schenkel." She's like, "Do I know him?" I'm like, "Yeah, you should know him." She's like, "Is he the guy with the big teeth?" I was like, "Yep, guiding teeth this year."
That's right.
Not very often you see that much dust. Woo! I guess if I had any sense at all, we'd have been upwind to that.
Other side. You didn't need much runway to take off there, did you?
No. Yeah, he's got a new propeller, and that thing is cutting a little broader swath, I believe. Built for the discriminating hunter.
300 grain Swift A-frame.
Okay, yeah. Mike told me that he brought some burger or whatever. I almost buried him in the outhouse hole. The Bear Slayer.
Tim Smith built that. Smith's Custom Rifles up in Pennsylvania.
Very nice. Well, I think I got a hacksaw here. I can cut that off. I can actually twist it off.
Yeah, you can twist it off. This will give you a nosebleed. Without it, you may go dentureless.
Yeah. Mike, you're built for speed. I'm just kind of slow and steady. That's kind of how I roll. Mike's got a custom package. I've got a cheap, off-the-shelf Ruger.
And they're both very effective.
Yeah. Let's hope so.
Definitely Boone and Crockett.
Yeah, we figure this is a 12-foot bear because it's so far away that we're never going to shoot it, and it's day before season. Yeah, you can call something whatever you want when you actually know you can't get it. You excited, Mike? 10 foot or nothing? Is that the plan?
Yes, sir. Super excited.
So your Kodiak bear was how big?
9'8".
9'8". So that gives us a little, that's a big bear, no doubt, but that gives us a little room to work with.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get one that caliber here. That's what we're looking for. A little better if we can, but happy with 9.5 foot.
9.5 or 9.5?
9.5 plus.
Yeah. After 25 years, when I look back at all the hunts that I've guided, I don't remember a single score. I don't remember how many times we shot. I remember how heavy some of the packs were, but what I remember most of each individual hunt is something that at the time, a specific thing or things that at the time seemed insignificant. Those memories might just be a conversation or just some animal doing something, or a sunrise or an airplane ride, or whatever it was. And I just want to encourage anybody out there that's interested in experiencing Alaska. It is a place to go with no agenda. It's a place to just go because you can no longer stand the thought of having not at least tried. When you get to that point where the fear of failure or not getting something is dwarfed by the fear of never realizing your dream, you're ready. You're ready to experience the wilderness, to be immersed in it and receive whatever it is. That's when the life-changing aspect of being in the wilderness is going to take place. When you want to go there, experience it, win, lose, or draw, I guarantee you will not regret that you went and experienced Alaska for yourself. The bear hunt begins. May the 10th, opening morning. We are on the board, day one. Appears to be a boar and a sow. Boar's in the lower right, sow's upper left. Just gonna guess probably low 9s, maybe 9.6-ish. Still a little bit young. Mike's reading this Bear Tales book, and he comes with these stories about an 11.5 bear and 11.3. So now the bar has changed a little bit, perhaps.
That's correct.
Yeah, 10.5 is the new minimum. They're here, no doubt about that. Although 11 foot, that's a pretty rare occurrence. I've seen one that I would say probably was 11 foot. But as that old adage goes, when you don't actually shoot them, you can call them, when they get away, you can call them as big as you want.
That's
Nobody
right.
can prove
That's
you're wrong.
right.
You tend to get some eye rolls as soon as you turn around, though. Looks like a sow, probably a 3-year-old cub. She'll be kicking that cub out this year, most likely. Probably come into heat again. Second bear sighting. So 4 bears so far. 11 a.m. day one. Sow and a couple of cubs. So there again, gotta believe it's a sow with a couple 3-year-old cubs. So once they're 3 years old, they're Not much smaller than the sow. My hunter's hearing things. He's hearing seagulls and thinking that they're wolves.
No, it was definitely a pack of wolves. I'll show you one if they decide to show up.
Alright. Well, I better spot it. I'm kind of doing all the spotting here. Mike's napping.
Definitely.
Actually, I was over there about napping. I did hear it. You're probably right. I kind of thought it was seagulls, but I didn't hear it real well. It was on the back side of the hill. So we're on the lookout for a pack of wolves. Mike said they sounded big too. Sounded like 150-pound wolves. 11-footers.
They definitely had deep howls.
Trying to hear the wolf howl. We just heard him one good time there. Definitely wolves. Here's the rascals. 2 of them anyway.
How close are you?
That's probably about 800 yards. Just gonna set up on this rock right here. See if they'll come in.
It's cold up on that rock. Do I have to compensate for that?
I'll give you the. I'll subtract a little bit. It's interesting. They're communicating back and forth.
It's freaking awesome.
Yeah, you can see them. They're working together. The one's down, coming in. The other one, it's almost like he's staying up there to watch. Just like when we use a packer to stay up on the hill and signal for us. And
Yeah, he's getting close, man.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's in the brush. Still there. Might move up. Still there. Yeah, the buggers got our wind. Got one of them right there, the gray one. Well, it was exciting while it lasted. I don't know. I think at 480, I would have had you shoot if it weren't so dang windy. I mean, you got a 25-mile-an-hour crosswind, you know. I've seen this happen a bunch, actually, in this spot. The wolves will stay out like a half a mile to a mile at all times, like the whole hunt they'll be here. So we came up here yesterday, and you know, we're sitting there glassing, you know, Mike and I take a piss somewhere. Well, then when we came back here today, it smells like skunk. It smells like, you know, not that strong, but it's piss, you know. And so I wouldn't be surprised if those wolves were in here last night, and so we're literally having the proverbial pissing contest. So, because yeah, I can smell it that they've pissed here, and I didn't smell it yesterday. So, a good chance those wolves kind of knew we were in the area, and you know, were up here during yesterday afternoon, last night, and you know, were extra cautious as they skirted around, circled downwind of us. But it's cool to see them. Anything to add there, Buona?
No, that was amazing watching them come across the tundra and hunt together. That was
Yeah.
kind of neat to see. The big male stayed out front and the smaller wolf stayed back behind. And they were just hunting as a pack. That was real neat to see.
Kind of nice. We got a spring right below our glassing knob. It's one thing that I've learned. Stay hydrated. We got 16 days, 16 hunting days here. So you'll sit for 10 days, you eat packaged food, dehydrated food, and then all of a sudden you see the bear you've been waiting for, and you take off, and in 10 minutes, all of a sudden your muscles just start burning. It's so easy to get dehydrated, particularly like today. It's cool, but the sun's out, drying you out. It's windy. So yeah, you really got to make a point of staying hydrated, because if you got a long stalk, your muscles are gonna let you know, that's for sure. So I always bring some electrolyte packets, you know, and just make a point of drinking water. And so I'll heat it up, you know, when it's cold. Like in the morning, we'll have just hot water, just to stay hydrated. 4:30. What's cooking, Buona?
We've got a big bear over that direction.
He's snoozing. It's actually the same bear in boar and sow we saw earlier today, up on the hillside, that I was kind of figuring was low nines, 9.5. He came back down to the lake, and we got a good open eyeball on him, no brush, no nothing. He's definitely over 9.5, or I'm very confident he's over 9.5. Kind of thinking like 9-10 is probably my guess. So we're deliberating whether we wanted to go after him or not. But the wind, as you can see the lake there, it's blowing from right to left. And then the prevailing wind here is blowing from left to right. So right there at the base of that hill, undoubtedly there's some vortex action. And it looks like they've bedded in the alders there now, somewhere right about in there. Because we had them out in the wide open for about 5 minutes to study them. I figure it's probably a 5% chance of us getting that bear. I'm not so sure. Are they out there right now? See some out of place.
On the lake?
No, brush. Yeah, I think there's gonna definitely be a swirl right there, kind of a vacuum behind that hill. So, and those older bears, I think I really do think they're smart enough. They put themselves into that positions like that, where they can get a swirling wind. But yeah, I kind of don't think it's a 10-foot bear, so he's kind of right on but a mature bear nonetheless. And so we kind of want to just give him another look and reassess him and go from there. But if Mike hadn't already shot a 9.8 bear, I'd say there's no doubt that's a shooter bear. But day 1 of 16. Don't want to rush into anything. But also, 10 days from now, we don't want to be saying coulda, shoulda, woulda. We did that on a grizzly bear in the Brooks Range not 18 months ago.
That's right. That's right.
So, just take it one step at a time, but yeah, I don't think we want to be stalking a bear where he's at right now with this wind. Just don't think he's 10 foot, but it's a nice mature bear for sure. So we're seesawing back and forth with what to do. You're moving pretty quick. I'm going for it. We're gonna get closer anyway. We're closing the gap. We're gonna go down to this knob. They're kind of feeding up here, and Mike and I are both kind of opportunists. We feel like if God gives you an opportunity, kind of got to take it. And we said if this bear comes to us, maybe then we'd make a move, and he's kind of coming right at us. But just gonna get a little closer, see what happens. Sun's going down on day number 1. We kind of started to move in on those bears in case they kind of worked this way, which they didn't. And we saw 2 more wolves and tried calling to them, but they won't commit. So, pretty exciting day nonetheless. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Hopefully we'll get lucky. This bear here is just kind of right on the fringe, and we just figured, well, if he comes to us, maybe we better take an opportunity. And our decision, he was right on the backside there. Our decision was if he came over on this side, we were going to go for him, and they never did. So we might cross paths with him again tomorrow. Morning and day 2, this is what I look like. Just think what I'll look like on day 16, Mike. Just talking about, I'm probably going to have to get, when I get old, I'm going to need plastic surgery and get my eyelids circumcised. All the salty food, packaged food, I ate no packet, well, very little processed food at home, and then you get them up here and it's all processed, freeze-dried food, it's salty. Just dehydrated. Let's get at her. Find a big bear today.
Let's kill a big bear.
We got a big bear working up over the top through this notch. 10 a.m., sun's shining, thermals are working up the hill. So he's gonna use that to his advantage. Everything, they're gonna use everything in nature, and everything happens for a reason. So in the evening, as it cools off, these thermals are going to start coming back down again, and then the boars are going to come and work through these valleys and scent check the hillsides up above. Everything in nature is about efficiency, and a bear's best sense is his smell. You get an old one like this, he's going to use that to his advantage every chance he can. This is probably a 10-footer, but he's 3 miles away, headed the other direction. There's virtually no chance of us being able to get him. So I would say the timing is good, rut timing, and weather is good. We just need a bear like that to kind of work a little bit more in our direction and within striking distance. That's just a little bit too far away, and obviously he's kind of heading the other way. So too many variables there to warrant a stalk at this point, I feel. Yeah, brown bear hunting, particularly trophy brown bear hunting, it's a chess match. That's what makes it exciting, you know. you're always just trying to weigh the odds and make your best guess and hope that it works out.
It's a little breezy now. Just a little.
Heading back to camp. That's a wrap for day 2.
It's much harder to pass on a small bear than it is to shoot a big bear. And that discipline only comes through experience and trial and error. I guess this bear to be about 9 foot square. His big head, long neck, and tall front legs strongly suggest he's a boar. His thin neck and narrow shoulders in comparison to a head confirm he's immature. When a boar hits 9.5 foot and over, he looks much different. His body mass is very evident, particularly in the neck. And when you get a bear pushing 10 foot, the neck and the head will look like one singular tube. And when the neck tapers into the head, you know you have a giant bear in the prime of his life. This bear offered a perfect opportunity for an ambush, but he was far from what Mike was looking for.
Boy, she's windy again today, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been real windy.
Yeah, it's really hopping. Yesterday afternoon, that lake out there was white caps on it. Well, good spot, Shankle. Let's find a bigger one.
Good way to start the morning.
Well, Shankenbank got his spotting eyes on today.
That's a big bear.
He said he was a big bear. Mike spotted him up here about an hour ago. Just caught him moving. Again, got the scope on him. I'd say that's probably a 10-foot bear. About a little before noon. Starting to warm up, so what I think we're probably going to do is just watch him. Assuming he's probably going to bed somewhere pretty quick. And quite likely make our move. Obviously he could keep moving. It's windy enough we're still fairly cool. The sun is warm. Wind is pretty well going this way. Quartering towards us from the left. This is where I love bear hunting. I think there's no greater chess match in hunting. Mike saw that bear up in that canyon. Then he kind of worked his way through here, went by that lake. Now we last saw him kind of working back up towards this hillside, which would be pretty typical. They kind of like to get up on a hillside, find an alder patch and bed for the day. It's afternoon now. But we last saw him disappear in this big alder thicket right there. So obviously he could bed in there, or he could definitely work his way back up that drainage without us seeing him. So now we're kind of taking shifts, just keeping a real close eye in the area where we last saw him. That's probably 2.5 miles away.
where we last saw him. But if he got up on this hillside, we could see him go in a patch of alder and then not come out. We could pretty well bet that he's probably going to bed there for several hours and then we'd make a move. But if he goes in a big patch like that and there's no like good high promontory nearby where we could get to downwind and then try to relocate him and make a move, you'd just be there on flat ground and it'd be pretty tough. Not to mention he might not move until, very, very late. So that's like in any kind of hunting, finding the animal you want is just a small part of it. Now for sheep hunting, finding the animal is like 95% of it. Usually 80% of the time you'll get them once you find them. With a bear, it's kind of a different story because they're roaming. Like a sheep, he isn't going to be far the next day if you gotta wait. A bear, they're covering, particularly now in the spring, they're covering so much country, they're moving around. The boars particularly are roaming. So yeah, it's challenging. There's just so many factors, and when you get it right and it all works out, it's pretty cool, especially when you get a good bear. This is a no doubt shooter, I'd have to say. We relocated that big boar later that evening, but he was on the move. It was obvious he'd caught the scent of another boar and a sow we'd been watching holed up together on top of the mountain for the past 2 days. Feeling lucky, Shankle?
Yes, sir.
Think we're gonna get him tonight?
I don't know. I feel lucky just for being here.
All right. You're gonna be real lucky, I think. Stranger things have happened, but he's almost got to start working toward us to have any chance at him tonight. Morning day 4. She's a little breezy out there. Cabin's rocking. We're such badass hunters. We're going out in it anyways. If it were raining, I'd be wilted like a day-old flower. But yep, we've come close. We're seeing big bears. Just gotta get them in the right position, get lucky, and connect.
Moose.
The wind's still blowing.
Yes, sir. It's gusting good today.
Oh yeah, there you can see it down in the water there. The Weather Channel this morning on the news said gusts of 26. It's gonna take more than a 26-mile-an-hour gust to rock that cabin. It was gusting all night. Bet you on top of this hill, it's probably gusting over 40. She's been a windy bugger here every day. We haven't had a single drop of rain, which is pretty odd. But no bears yet this morning. That seems, I'd imagine a lot of them are kind of laying low this morning. It is pretty breezy, but it isn't impossible to glass, but it's definitely more challenging today. About 6 o'clock. Day 4. This is the bear we saw the first day. Matter of fact, we've seen him every day. Pretty sure it's him. He's got a slight rub on his right hip. Figure he's calling him 9.5. We saw another bear cruise through there, pretty light colored. Probably a sow. He seems to be on her trail. Several hours ago we saw her pass through there. But it's
been fairly slow. We never did see that big bear that we saw yesterday. Windy, real windy. Sunny still. Saw a sow and a couple of cubs, a couple of moose, caribou, a wolf sitting out there, or we did. Yeah, that's kind of it. Just trying to beat the sun. That sun's pretty intense.
So dry. Grass is very can't stand still. Knocking off an hour early tonight. So freaking windy. We've been out in it 14 hours today.
What started with that tiny little video camera, and that's still the camera that I use. One day we were trying to put these films together and we realized we were trying to make our films like the films that everybody else had made. But I can't do that. I don't have a cameraman. I don't have good cinematography. And then I realized rather than try to be like everybody else and compete with them, these guys that have cameramen, hundreds of thousands of dollars of budgets, but what I found was a niche. And my niche is this. What do I have that nobody else has? What can I do better than anybody else? And that's this. I've got 25 years in the wilderness. I've been on 40 Dall sheep hunts, 50 brown bear hunts, way too many caribou hunts to count, moose hunts, you name it. I've been on all those. Focus on what we have. And if you have something that nobody else has, and then you can design your business, your brand, your service around that, who's your competition?
Day 6 in the field, day 5 of the hunt.
Who are we looking for today? Are we gonna shoot Romeo yet?
No, Brutus is coming. We're gonna shoot Brutus.
I like it. Wind laying down a little bit. She was whipping last night, even worse when we got back to the tent. Yeah, she was hopping. Had a hard time getting to sleep. The old cabin was shaking pretty good. We got a pretty good boar. Following a sow. Probably 4, maybe 5 miles away. Obviously the boar's the one on the left. Seem to be popping out. About 8 o'clock. Just saw probably, I'm guessing about an 8-foot sow. This one I think probably 8.5, maybe 9 foot more. Perfect evening, Buana. Saw 2 bears in the last hour or so. 8 p.m. Winds died down. Feeling good? Think it's gonna happen?
It's a good possibility.
Kinda like the table is set. Wait and see. Got to sleep in this morning a little bit. A little snowy. Supposed to clear and start blowing again. There we're seeing the two adolescent wolves, I think is what they are. I think the male and the female, those are the ones we called in the first day and almost shot, but then they took off and I think they've left them. Maybe the female is coming back, but the one is kind of left out there by itself quite a bit, and it just stays pretty close by its den. Kind of interesting. So day 6, here we are. You know, you get lucky and you see a 10-foot bear day 1 or something. That's the easy way to shoot a 10-footer, just like anything else. You know, if you want to shoot a 10-footer, the hard thing is passing up the 9.5s and knowing the difference. And I'm pretty good, but yeah, bears are just like people, and you know, I always study a bear pretty hard. I've looked at that one several times. You don't want to make a mistake. It's a pretty good bear, but I just don't think he's, you know, even really high 9s. You can tell he's kind of young. You look at all these things, the neck, the nose, the ear, the shoulders, the head length, the body mass, the head proportion of the body. You look at all those things, and what I find is if about 2 of them, 2 or more, don't line up, you probably better pass on them. Good bear, but at this point, don't think we're gonna chase after him. Thought you said you brushed your teeth.
I did.
Ooh.
Hopefully they're white.
I got a good feeling about today. So is today day 7?
Day 7 of hunting, day 8 in the field.
Okay. So it's day 1 of a 10-day hunt. 16-day season, so we've got 10 days left. So. A little frosty this morning, but I think we're gonna be baking today. The sun's pretty intense already. About 10 a.m. First bear we've seen. I'm guessing it's probably one we saw last night. We're kind of figuring it was 9.5. Pretty good bear anyway, and that's exactly where we saw him last night.
I find the most pivotal, profound moments in hunting and in life almost always seem inconsequential at the time they occur. It's in the months and years after they happen that we recognize them and the impact they have on our lives. Nature's timing is different than ours. Our modern world and its technology strive to defy and minimize it. I find the more I embrace the pace and work with nature rather than against it, the easier, more peaceful, and enjoyable hunting and life becomes. The beauties and miracles are all around us. The only way to discern them is to be still, be patient, and savor every moment. Because as a hunter once told me, it takes forever and it happens suddenly. Day 7 brings big news to the brown bear hunt. I'm going to deliver it to Mike. I've got good news. We've got a grocery delivery coming.
That's great news. That's great news.
Pretty much down to freeze-dried and candy bars the last couple of days, and
Yeah.
the old bowels are howling like the wolves. So we had a pretty steady diet of meat, mashed potatoes, and gravy. Pretty much 4 nights. I think about 4 nights in a row, and we both were like, "Yeah, this is good." The meat is all gone, and it's nothing but beef stew and chicken teriyaki and Mountain House. So we're looking forward to that. It's amazing. It's like what we call a gourmet meal out here at home. You'd look at that and you'd be like, "What's that crap? I ain't eating that."
Is that what we're having for supper?
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing what simple pleasures. You really appreciate simple pleasures. And like you said, if you can control the things you can control, you know, and then beyond that, you just ride the waves. Beautiful day, but not much bear activity so far. The mountains are pretty with that fresh snow, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it out here. The weather,
We've got the ocean that way.
yeah.
Mountains.
Our grocery delivery man is here. It's always nice seeing that airplane come in. You know, when you got some goodies. Kind of like the ice cream man. Not that an ice cream man ever came to my neighborhood, but a little squirrely there, no doubt. Looks pretty bulky. I like it. Oh, he's sticking out his left arm for counterbalance. Looks pretty heavy too. I like that. When it's windy and you back taxi the plane, get the wind at your back, I think the plane's susceptible to get tipped over. So you want to keep the plane pointed into the wind. That's why Matt's pushing it back. That's my understanding. That'll keep you fit. He's airborne in no time. Thank you, sir.
Hey, no sweat, buddy. Yeah, you guys, take care. If you need anything else, let me know.
You're probably in pretty darn good shape this year, all the back taxi and hand taxiing you've probably been doing.
Oh, yeah? No, I'm getting tougher than nails. Not gonna lie, I'm really enjoying this starter.
I was wondering how long it was going to take you to go back to a starter.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. Now the only problem is I don't know if I could ever go back to hand propping.
I hear that. And I don't think too many sow brown bears are like, all right, you guys, knock it off. Be nice to your brother. Ah. Yeah, I think a mother should just say, if kids want to fight, say, just go outside. Oh, that was the sow fighting that cub. It ain't grits and gumbo, but how about some caribou and mashed potatoes and gravy?
That sounds incredible.
And onion.
Sounds incredible.
Oh, onion. I've so crave, the two foods that I maybe crave the most when I'm out here, always anymore, last 5-6 years, onions and garlic. For some reason, I just really crave onions and garlic. I like them at home too, but like out here, they seem to be everything. The bags of life. Normally they're tubs of life, but in this case, they're bags of life. I'll give you the honors, Mike. See what we got in here.
Feel like a kid at Christmas.
Yeah, buddy.
Your favorite.
Beer. Probably, is that all that's in there?
Yeah. Mountain House.
Mountain House, huh? Oh, there's gotta be some, oh, there's other stuff.
Yeah.
That's all Mountain House.
Alright. Oh, yeah.
Booyah.
Trail mix.
Oh yeah,
There we
that's the
go.
good stuff. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Candy bars.
Oh baby.
Kind bars.
Paleo bars, whatever those are. As long as it's not a Twix or a tortillas.
Tortillas. Yeah.
What else? This is the money bag here. Eggies. My old boss used to spell eggs E-G-G-E-S, so they will forever be eggies. More
Bread.
okay, not too wild about that, but that's good, that's good.
Ham.
Meat, yeah.
Got
Gotta have some ham. Cheese, oh yeah. Butter, that's good. Please tell me there's some caribou meat in there. Bacon, that's good. That's everything? Oh, I was looking for some caribou sausage, but
That's it.
we'll take it. Freeze dried. It's been 25 years. I've been coming to Alaska. It's a long stint for a guide. And this place, definitely one of my favorites. The remoteness and the isolation of it and the timelessness. It's the reason why it's a wilderness is because it's uninhabitable. There's no reason for people to want to be here. You know, coastal environments, California, Washington, Oregon, the whole East Coast, everywhere, many places around the world, people flock to those coastal environments. But this is one that is just too much for people. And this land is very much untamed. Everything is different when you're here. Your perception of life changes, and it changes every day that you're here, and there's no shortcut to that. You know, we're here to hunt bear, and particularly to target a big bear. That entails many variables, and sometimes you get lucky, and sometimes you can do everything right and it takes you days, weeks, maybe months, maybe several trips to have all the stars align to get a big bear. And after 25 years, I'm still trying to grasp the yin and the yang of that. It's the blessing and the curse of it. The hardship in some way makes it worth doing. The apostles, Peter, James, and Paul, they all spoke about how one should take joy in trials and tribulations. And as hard as that is, in hunting terms, that's what makes it worth doing. That's what makes the success so sweet, when you overcome all the odds and you stick to it and you work together with, you know, your hunter or your guide or whoever you're with. And when it all comes together, it's nirvana in the hunting world. But that said, that satisfaction is also short-lived. You know, you don't hang up your cap after you kill a 10-foot bear. It doesn't change who you are. And so it's an old saying, but it's just a reminder of the journey is the destination. When we first got here, Mike was talking about this river in the background here. He said, oh, you can see that trough that's been formed, you know, the river valley, but yet that river winds and bends constantly. It's not just a straight shot. Why isn't it a straight shot? And then when he said that, it really struck me that there's a purpose for that. And you think about that, those oxbows are deep pools. They give shelter to the salmon. They can rest in those pools and they're safe for the bears. But then as they round the bend and they go through the straight stretches, they've got a riffle there that's shallow. Well, that's where they've got to plow through, and that gives the bear an opportunity to get them there. And then you got these backwater sloughs for the mosquitoes and for the aquatic grasses for the moose. And there's so much going on, and if you're floating down that river, every bend is something new, a new perspective, a new angle, where if you're just going straight down, it's just kind of ho-hum, nothing really changes. But it's just a great analogy for the ebb and flow of life. And I usually don't do this, but ever since Mike said that on the very first day, I thought a good working title for this film would be The River. Because life is like a river. You know, kind of the other day I was singing that Garth Brooks song in my head. And I was thinking about how Mike is talking about, you know, is questioning whether he should have shot a, you know, smaller bear, or maybe he's holding out for too big of a bear. And I said that'd kind of be like going on a float trip and pulling your raft on the shore halfway through. There's just, you know what you wanted to go after, and maybe you get it, maybe you won't, but you know, this is why we're here, to experience this, to sit here for hours and be bored and stare out at the mountains and think and see the moose run up and see the wolves and see the caribou. Maybe we'll see caribou starting to calve, possibly moose, probably a little bit too early for moose. To watch bears, sows, and boars fight and mate, and cubs wrestle and play, and to get away from the hustle and bustle of life. And to enjoy each second. We're not just here to shoot a bear, we're here to bear hunt. We're here to experience the wilderness. And if I've learned anything in 25 years, this is as good as it gets. You know, it's awesome when you get that animal, but at the end of days, you know, it's not gonna be some mount that is gonna be your pride and joy, your most cherished possession. It's more likely to be something that you discovered about yourself, or for me, oftentimes it's usually something generally spiritual. I know Mike and I, this is our third hunt together, and the first two were great. I love Mike, but this one we've really connected, and you know, we're two hunting buddies at this point. Our lives are very similar. You know, we're both raising kids, married, and careers, and you know, doing the best we can to follow Christ, and just kind of similar time in our lives, similar struggles, and I think that fellowship has been perhaps the most valuable thing for me on this hunt. And it's the things that, I've said this before, it's the most important things in life and experiences in life are often those that no one, maybe one or two or three people would ever understand, or maybe they'd be a part of it, maybe they wouldn't. But out here, there's no shortcuts. And I think that's what keeps most people away. That is the beauty of it. Is that you have to be present every single moment. You have to enjoy, or at least face every bend in the river head on, because you don't know what to expect out here. And that makes me feel alive. And that gives me perspective. That helps me feel inner peace. And that's why I'm still doing it after 25 years. A couple of days ago, I pulled a muscle in my back. It's been something, I've had a back injury, hip injury, cracked ribs, all kinds of different things, and it just manifests itself, probably dehydrated. And so there was about 3 days there where, you know, I could hike, and I mean, I don't know if I could have packed out a big bear hide. I'm pretty well back to 90% now. I think I'll be okay. And, you know, nothing earth-shattering, but it's humbling because it makes me wonder, how much longer can I do this? And this is something I've been wrestling with for years, and I don't want to quit too early. I don't want to hang on too long, and so I'm kind of riding this fine line, you know. I'm not as strong as I used to be. My experience is great, and so I'm pretty darn knowledgeable, but physically I'm not as sharp, not as deadly, not as lethal, not as effective as I used to be. You know, I'm experienced enough where I can make up a lot of that, but I'm probably starting the downhill slide. I would say about 2-3 years ago I was probably at my peak, you know, the combination of physical ability and experience, but I'm probably slipping. 44 years old now, and yeah, it's not something that I'm real excited about accepting, I guess. But it is what it is. And maybe God's got another chapter in my life. Maybe I'm pushing to overcome this and continue on as long as I can. And so that adversity is making me seek Him all the more. And that is, I guess, as Peter, James, and Paul would say it, to take joy in trials and tribulations. They're talking particularly of refinement and sanctification and persecution, spiritual persecution, but it's those trials and tribulations that make us seek God. They said they teach us perseverance and discipline, which gives us hope, and that's absolutely right. And we live in this world where everything we see is pointing us to something, some sort of shiny object. And so in our world, we're always living for something. We're living for something somebody else has led us to believe we need. There's so much of that. And out here, even out here, me and Mike were talking about how we both want to get a big bear. Well, yeah, sure we do, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You want to shoot a big, mature bear. But if we don't get one, so what? You know? What I believe is more important is we just take it all in. Live this 16 days to the fullest. Whether we're here 3 days or 16 days, the world as we get home probably really won't be any different. And as soon as we're home and back into the hustle and bustle of life, it'll pretty much be like we never left. But time is really, really slow here. 16 days can darn near feel like a lifetime. Got a sow, 6:30, yeah, 7:30. Blonde, short neck, narrow wrists. Good bait though. Mike spotted a nice bear. Figure he's 9.5 plus. Probably 2 miles away. 9:45. I think he's just a little too late to go after. Well, the end of day 6?
Day 7.
Day 7 already? Oh yeah.
Tomorrow we'll have to do the hunt.
At the end of the day tomorrow. Let's not be so pessimistic.
No, okay. Well, we have half the hunt left.
Yes, there you go. There you go. Glass half full. So, well, we were stripped down. We were ready to make a run, but he didn't come around the mountain.
No, he was a good bear though.
Yeah.
It's the third one we've seen over 9.5 feet that we could have made a run on. So, third or fourth? Third, fourth, somewhere in there.
The way you Louisiana boys count might be 10.
We count the same bear.
Well, you only got 10 fingers, so you can't go any farther than 10. No, we're getting closer, man. Good news is we got, a few good bears around.
Oh yeah,
so,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, our time will come.
Yep, sure will.
Getting a little sprinkle. It's 11:05. Guy could still shoot pretty easy in the open. Get in the brush, you'd be getting, there'd be some shadows taking shape though.
Maybe a few extra bullets.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna get after her tomorrow.
The wind's barely blowing. I think it's 15 right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it was scooting pretty good again this afternoon.
Alaska standards are different standards.
Morning, day 8. Cold and blustery. Got up at 6:30 this morning. Couldn't see half mile. Flurries. Wind was really rocking. So we're gonna do some breakfast and head on out. About 8 o'clock now. We're going after a big bear. Don't know what he is for sure. Big mature bear, but we're chasing after it. It kind of popped out below us. I don't know. I'm inclined to think it's a boar, but I hate making split-second decisions or short notice decisions, but we're gonna try to get closer. We'll see what happens. There's our glass and knob. The wind's pretty much coming straight this way. When I first saw the bear kind of come out right by that little lake, went across this flat. We were hoping, like I told Mike, there's not many miracle stalks with bears as far as the wind is concerned. We were kind of expected him to wind us while he was, the wind up at the hills pretty much like this, but here it's like this. So we took off after him, hoping for a wing and prayer, figuring he's either going to wind us here, our camp, or us at the hill. And whether he winded us or winded all of our piss up on the hill, don't know, or our camp. But as soon as we took off, we never did see him again. He kind of disappeared in the brush, and I was hoping to maybe catch him up on this hillside. But I gotta believe he caught our wind. But it looked to be a big bear. We didn't get to see him for very long, but I'm 80% sure that was a boar, and it was probably pushing 10 feet. What do you think, Mike?
That was a big bear.
That was pretty big. It was definitely a big bear, whatever it was.
It's the biggest body we've seen. I mean, just huge gut. Big bear.
Yeah. I saw its face. It looked like old, scarred, beat up. Yeah, I had about a minute to study it in the scope. Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure, but it looked like a good one. But it's just the way it goes. They come in downwind and head away from you. You don't have... The only other thing we could have done was stay on the hill.
Yeah. Just watched it.
And that would have been a heartbreaker to watch it and have it go up there on that side hill and feed. But yeah, it just, you rarely feel fooled or knows. But we did have a sow and cubs come through here and not wind us. And another bear didn't wind us. We had another big bear popped out, I think right in here, right in there somewhere. Actually, I think it was right there. And it winded us as soon as he popped out. We saw him, and he had his nose in the air, and he was gone. So, nothing to do but head back to camp and try her again tomorrow. Well, our excitement this morning was kind of short-lived. Mike spotted the bear down there. He was working upstream. We lost sight of him for probably a good half hour. And then he reappeared in that creek right there. Kind of started following the river like he was going to kind of head towards us. And we were getting ready to make our move should he continue to do so. But he ended up climbing up that hill and disappeared in the brush working to the left. And these old bears are smart. So they like to get in a big alder thicket where they can detect danger coming, and they've got an escape route. So I'm guessing he's between that knob and that knob. We've been watching for about an hour since we lost sight of him, haven't seen him come out. So right back over here, we've got a boar and a sow screwing around just out of sight here. And the wind's basically blowing from them to that boar. So I gotta think there's a very good chance that he's going to smell them, and a reasonable chance he'd maybe go investigate, in which case he'd probably come down over here. So we're hoping this afternoon he comes this way, or likes what he smells and kind of heads straight upwind, or the other option that I figure he'd probably do would be kind of head up towards that hill there to the left of that lake. Obviously we don't want him to go away, but he's going to do what he's going to do. Too big of an area. If it was a little brush patch or something where we saw him disappear in, we'd maybe go after him and maybe try to call him out or, whatever. But that's just a pretty big area, and he could, hard telling where he's gone. But it would be a pretty ideal kind of a proverbial type spot for bear to bed for the day, so kind of high. Get the wind coming out of these two different drainages, and it's supposed to be hot today, 50 plus degrees. Not really, well, there's a couple clouds back behind us, but good napping day, huh, Shankle?
Absolutely.
So what time do you think he's gonna move tonight? What time are we gonna see him?
8. Between
8
8 and 8:30.
Yeah, that seems to be about kind of the magic time right now. Getting dark at 11:30. You'd want to be pretty well shooting at 11, but worst case scenario, 10:30, she's over. Forecast, tomorrow looks still pretty good, but then Friday morning, gonna get pretty gnarly pretty quick. Wind's supposed to switch out of the east tomorrow. And then Friday, they're calling for gusts of 42, which when they were calling for gusts of 28, we couldn't even stand on the hill, so it could be pretty nautical. As Mike said, if it's meant to be,
It'll happen. That's right.
we are still waiting on our bear. He's been bedded for about 7 hours now. The wind has been for the last 9 days blowing that way, and it is now shifting, and it's now blowing basically straight right to left. Forecast is for it to start coming out of the east, southeast, which would be about that way, coming this way, which would be perfect, because our bear is right in there in this little saddle somewhere. So what's your prediction there, Buona? When are we gonna see him? When's he gonna move?
If it cools off, we'll see him somewhere around 7:30.
Ooh, pretty early.
Yeah. If it doesn't cool off, if it stays warm, it's probably going to be more like 8:30.
Well, it's not gonna cool off. Other than the wind. The breeze is fairly cool.
Yeah. Breeze is cold coming off the ocean, so.
Yeah, I think the forecast said warmest time of day I think was gonna be 6, and that was 51. But yeah, pretty good breeze. So, time will tell. Let's just hope he does move. I think it'd be pretty hard for him to slip out that way without us seeing him. I think we'd catch a glimpse somewhere. But which way do you think he's gonna go?
I think he's going to come right down this ridge.
Okay, and then go up on the other ridge where the wolves have been?
Yeah.
I'm thinking and I'm hoping he's either gonna come down here right in this drainage, or come down here, shoot over here where that big bear did last night. I'm hoping. I'm optimistic.
Either way, it's all good.
Yeah. It's either that or he's gonna cut across that big opening and go up kind of towards that lake, but either that or he's just gonna do whatever he wants. I think that's more likely
That's
to
what
what
they've done
happened.
to this point.
Yes. They have not done what we wanted. My prediction is within the next half hour he'll be stepping out. We're ready for him. He definitely didn't come out where we wanted him.
No.
I think we got to take our chances.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Do her.
Well, we're gonna get up on this hill here and relocate him. Go from there. Nothing about bear country is easy. The hill that we were watching the bear on was over there. Our glass and knob's up over there. He went through here, got down into this creek bottom, and we bustled up to this flat, hoping that maybe he'll work this way. The wind's kind of going this way from right to left, so we'd have a chance of heading him off here, but if he goes up that creek bottom, I think there's no way to catch him. It's 9:08 now. We have till about 11, good 11:15, pretty good shooting light. So we'll just sit here and watch, and maybe he feeds in there a while and he pops out. But if he gets in that creek bottom, he could easily get on through without us seeing him. Doesn't look like he's gonna show. It's not nearly as easy as it looks, is it? And you've hunted this stuff a lot.
Yes, it's difficult. It's difficult to navigate. A lot of footing obstacles in the way. Stepping in holes and sliding in muskeg and going to almost to your knee deep and trying to navigate through all these alders. You know, it's very difficult terrain. That's part of the challenge.
Yeah, just slow going, and yeah, you get tangled up in your feet, and your pack is all tangled up, and rifle going through the alders. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, I just slipped a mile off my shoulders earlier. I wasn't even aware.
Yeah. I think Mike and I were just talking. It's like 1 3-mile stalk might be easier than a 1-mile stalk somewhere else. You know, it's just all about the terrain and then your ability to see the animal you're stalking. And yeah, here we are chasing after a bear with the wind at his back, and this is about as good a stalk opportunity as we've actually really had. You know, and it was a big bear, and we know we got a storm coming here tomorrow, and yeah, just we took a gamble, and doesn't look like it's going to pay off. So the downside is obviously that we've tracked through this country. You know, it's pretty dry, but we're going to get a bunch of rain. We're not going to be hunting for a day or two probably anyway here starting tomorrow afternoon. So hopefully it'll have time to settle. Good news is we still have several days to go. Got 7 days after today, and there's a lot of big bears around. So we are definitely not done.
No.
We got lots of hunting left.
That's right.
There's a reason why these hunts are 16 days. Mike was saying how, you know, he's really got to commend older guys that have come up and hunt and gotten bears in this country, you know. I say, yeah, you know, this would be the farthest I've ever stalked a bear in this country. Well, maybe outside of one. Rob Mullins, that was a long, that would have been farther. But, you know, usually if you're patient, we're seeing a lot of big bears on this hunt, more than normal, but usually you'll get one in striking distance. We've had a couple in striking distance, but the wind has always been total backwards. So it's just things aren't falling our way, and just like other times in life, man, when things aren't meant to be, you can beat your head against the wall trying to make them happen, and then when it's meant to be, it'll all just fall into place. So hopefully it all falls into place before this one's all over. The gold-crowned sparrows have an amphitheater in here. Rough country. Kind of a neat perspective though, isn't it? Yes. Seeing that creek, that's where we're glassing from, that rocky point right there. So we're going back, and then the cabin's another half mile beyond that point. I'm a hunter, an adventurer, and I'd like to fancy myself a storyteller. And I'm always looking for new places to explore and stories to tell. So if you're an outfitter or a hunter with a story to share, feel free to reach out to us. Whether you're looking to highlight your outfit, leave your legacy, share your testimony with the world, or all of the above, I've got guns, bows, cameras, and a crew that can write your book while you're living it. So just go to the description in this video, shoot us an email, and Lord willing, we'll meet you on the mountain someday. Morning, day 10. Wind straight out of the east. It's about 150 degrees off of what it has been the last 9 days. Storm's supposed to move in about 5, 7 o'clock. Calling for 50-mile-an-hour wind gust tonight and tomorrow. Hoping to get lucky this morning. I'd say you definitely don't want to get him from behind. Just had a big bear walk over this low-lying ridge. Before I got the scope on him, he bedded down, but it looks like a big boar there. It looks like it's getting out. Had a big bear there about 4 or 5 days ago. Bed right there. Looks like he's going away. It's a pretty good haul. 2 miles over there. Rough miles. Ready to give her a go?
Let's try.
Pretty much heading kind of right in the same direction where we headed yesterday, so we're not really ruining any new country, so figure it's worth a go. We learned a little bit from yesterday's hike. Parts where to go, parts where not to go. So we're making better time. Chugged a bunch of water. I'm getting up ahead of Mike. Glass and nub. I want to get up there, try to relocate him, and then I'll allow Mike to catch up. So, going a little bit. Poking over a little different spot. Trying to not get so much alders, get a clear view without climbing so high. Hopefully relocate them and make her move. Well, we last saw the bear. We're up in this little climbed up here, hoping to catch him moving. We haven't. We made good time. We last saw the bear heading into that little draw right there, and he seemed to be hanging around there. He bedded on that hill as soon as we saw him, and then he went down in the brush, and we're assuming that he bedded in there. Wind is blowing this way. Thermal should be going up. It's supposed to be really nasty this afternoon. We got a good bear highway there. So our options is we just sit here till dark, hope he moves, move in on him. The other option is back out, do nothing, which we ain't gonna do that, but the other option is to go up, come over, sit there and wait, or we could go up there, try to get in real close, sneak in where we last saw him, and predator squeal, see what happens. Cons are, he could be in the brush here somewhere, which I doubt it because he was kind of going straight down. We could boost him as we're working in there. The other con is we're gonna muck up a lot of country. But this is the best opportunity that we've had as far as really having a centralized, closest to a pinpoint location of where a big bear is in the bed. In 10 days, today 10? Day 10 or 11? 10. So what I think we're gonna do is get up there above them, squeal, try to get them to come out, try to get movement, whatever. And if nothing happens, probably just sit there till dark or close to dark till we can't take it anymore. Good chance if it's that windy that he won't even get up and move, but I don't know.
Let's try it.
I think that's our best shot.
Yeah.
We could easily not. This is the best opportunity we've had in 10 days. We get 5 more. There's obviously a good chance we won't get another opportunity, but that's a big bear. That's what you came to Alaska for.
Yes.
He's a mile away. Straight line. Once the decision is made and the stalk begins, thoughts become clear and focused. There is no past, there is no future, only one's instinct, reveling in the present. This is our last chance for water. I took my gaiters off to make my feet light. That helps at the end of a long day. So you're not picking up this extra half pound every step. Closing in, we readied ourselves and eased our pace. With the wind in our face, we snuck down from above the thicket we last saw the bear go into. I picked a spot I felt had the best visibility and we set up to call. Ideally, he would come in to investigate, but even if he moved at the sounds and we were able to spot him in the alders, it would give us a huge advantage. It was far too windy to cast a sow and heat call, so I relied on a predator squeal. After a half hour of calling with no response, it appeared he either couldn't hear us or he wasn't interested. So we relocated 100 yards further up the hill to gain a slightly better overview of the terrain before us.
I'm sitting here on the Alaskan Peninsula trying to take a nap, and my mind's racing. I'm thinking it just doesn't get any better than this. 300 yards from a 10-foot brown bear on the Alaskan Peninsula with Billy Molls.
We hope we're 300 yards from him. He might be 3 miles from here. We're not 100% sure.
We hope we're 300 yards from him.
We think he's right over here. Basically, we're just gonna sit here for the night. We got a good vantage point. Hope he comes out. It's gonna be windy. Entirely possible that he just lays up all night, but this was a shot, chance worth taking. Are we gonna see him? What time?
7:30.
I'll say 8. I hope you're right, 7:30.
He's 80 yards away. He's gonna cross where that green is, right? He's up.
The line of when to shoot and when not to is a fine one. Through the years, I've learned that when you know you can kill the animal, take the shot. This bear appeared to be about to step into the open, but he wasn't headed for a food plot or a barrel of donuts. He was foraging on whatever fresh sprout looked and smelled appetizing. I can't tell you how many times I've had bears in a scenario like this turn about face and vanish into the alders, never to be seen again. As heartbreaking as these moments are, those are the experiences that hone our instinct, making us more effective and efficient in situations to come. Sucks. We can't hear crap. He must have been there the whole stinking time. We were like less than 100 yards.
Think he's done?
Yeah, we'll just keep easing up. You got one more round in? Yeah, he ain't going anywhere. I got my rifle in my hand. That sapsucker was laying there the whole time. Ah, he looks dead to me.
Like the last one, right there. Sting, Billy?
I don't know. Let's go up and take a look at him. Go ahead.
Yeah.
We were sitting how far from him the whole time? Got a big melon on him. Yeah, he's got a big head. He's got a big freaking head. Yeah, you hit him good. First one. Let's go up, tap his eye.
Sorry. Oh, yeah. He's still moving his lips.
Yeah. He ain't going far. Touch his eyeball.
He's
Yeah, he ain't moving his eye. Boy, he's got a nice hide. That's a bruiser. We were right there by those willows or alders.
Look at the size of that bear, Billy.
He's a bruiser. Oh man, he's got a nice hide, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
He's not super long, but he is bulky.
Oh, thank you, Lord.
Can you believe it?
No.
Can you freaking believe it?
Thank you so much. Just made you some bloopers there.
Should we go?
Right down my shoulder to about his neck.
Yeah, he probably would have came out there, but I mean, it almost really wasn't worth it risking him just going straight away. I'm guessing he'd have came out, but you had a good shot.
I don't need a high five. I need a hug. Thank you so much.
Oh man, that is a
Thank you so
bruiser.
much. You're the man, Billy.
That is a pumpkin head bear. Can you believe it? Right there.
No, we've been sitting on top of him for all day.
We were, how far away were we when we were squealing? We were right there when that first spot we checked.
Yeah.
So he came down and then he came back up. I had a bear do that to me on Kodiak. He came down, so we came high, and when we couldn't see him, he moved back up.
Look at the scar on his nose.
Yeah.
He got
Tap his eye once more. I think he's froze now. Yeah, it's just reflex. Trying to breathe.
Is he?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's just a muscle reflex.
Yeah, I put all of them right in his front chest there, so you said high shoulder him, so.
Not too high shoulder him though. You did good. Can you believe it?
No. Here's the first shot right here.
Yep. Man, he's got a big head. Yeah, I gotta think that's probably a booner skull.
You're awesome.
That thing's wide. I mean, who knows, but it's wide. When they look short, that's when they're big. Yeah, that is a bruiser.
Look how beautiful that bear is. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Thank you,
perfect
Lord.
hide. Well, what did we say? How many things went wrong? And we said when it goes right, it'll go right.
When it's meant to happen, it'll happen.
Yep.
Thank you, God. Oh.
Day 10.
Day 10.
Here he is.
Yes, sir. Spotted this thing early this morning, I guess probably about 11 o'clock, and decided to take a gamble. And we took off across the valley here. I guess it was a couple of miles. Got over here, couldn't locate the bear, so we tried to predator call and see if he would flush out of the brush, come towards us. He didn't. So we just decided to park on him all day. We got a front coming in, the wind's really blowing. So we decided just to sit on him all day. And I guess he come out about, what, 8:30, 8:40? And we shot him at about 80 to 100 yards. First shot dropped him, and I just put a couple more warranty shots in him to finish him off. Dream come true, an Alaskan Peninsula brown bear hunt with Billy Molls. Couldn't ask for more. We literally saw big bears every single day, just about. It could have been the same 3 or 4 bears, but we were on big bears the entire time I was here. I can't thank Billy enough. I can't thank Matt and Emily enough with Ovis Outfitters, my wife, and I definitely want to thank the Lord because I feel like God blessed us here. I really do. We had 2 previous stalks prior to this one. The last 2 days we bust through the brush to try and get on big bear that we spotted, and we came up empty, and it all worked out today. It came to a head, and we were able to capitalize on this big bruin. Big, beautiful Alaskan Peninsula boar. May go Boone and Crockett. He's a big bear. Couldn't be happier.
Yeah, it was crazy. We last saw the bear. Well, we first spotted him this morning. Come over this ridge. Went down in the brush, we sneak around, and we were less than 100 yards away from him. Just right through the brush here, we didn't know it. Tried squealing, tried a couple spots because we couldn't find good spots with a good vantage point. And so we tried calling, nothing came out, and so we went and we sat by those alders right there all day, well, from 2 o'clock till a little after 8. And all of a sudden I looked down and I saw movement right here. And there's his bed right there, 100 yards. So we were within 100 yards of him for 6 hours. Yeah,
Pretty incredible.
that was pretty lucky. But yeah, he has got a big head, big, massive neck. Yeah, he's just stocky bear. Yeah, he's a bruiser. Yeah, so this is probably the one we saw right here 4 or 5 days ago.
Yeah, we saw one in this area. Came from that lake area, probably the 3rd day of the hunt, I guess. And we figured he was a 10-footer. He just never came in our direction. He stayed away. We're probably at least, what would you say, about 2 miles from our...
Yeah, line of sight, yeah.
Yeah. So, to see him at that distance and then not be able to close the deal, man, it can be heartbreaking, especially when you spend 14, 15 hours on a glassing knob. But it all paid off today. Now we got to get this big joker skin out and try and get him back to the lodge or to the cabin before this storm hits tonight.
Yep. Well, yeah, we won't be packing him back tonight yet. We'll probably start skinning. It's 9 o'clock. We got to be heading out of here by 10, I'd say. So we'll probably start skinning on him. Congrats, Mike. You stuck with her, brother.
I can't thank y'all enough.
He has got a big, big head. Yeah, he is big.
He's a big old bear.
Yeah.
Huge
No doubt
bear,
about it.
Barry. Huge bear.
That's a big bear.
Huge bear, Barry.
Yeah, he's gonna be a little over 9.5. Don't think he'll hit 10, but I mean his neck. I mean, look at his neck. See how I was talking about how his head looks smaller than his neck?
Yeah.
And his teeth, yeah, he's probably over 12 years of, yeah, over 10, probably 12 would be about my guess. Just kind of prime of life. He's a beast. He's been fighting there. Got him all tied up so he's easier to skin tomorrow. All right, brother, we got a long trek back to camp, but we did her.
Good job.
That was a great hunt, day 10.
Amazing hunt.
Yep.
It just, you were saying the whole time, it's going to work out just the way it's supposed to work out. And we didn't want to shoot one too early. We passed a lot of nice ones, but this is really the only one that we've had an opportunity that we could have shot.
Yeah.
We might could have gotten that first bear on that first day, but I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, this one's better than that bear.
Oh, yeah.
Way fuller.
Yeah.
That bear might have been longer. Who knows, maybe would have squared better, but he's not as mature.
Yeah.
So watch that rope when you step. So, all right, head for the barn. This has been a heck of a hunt.
Yes, it is.
Bear's right up there. We gotta go up and over that, and up and over the big hill to get to the glassing knob. Yeah, we're getting to know this country like the back of our hand.
Well, this is our third trek in 3 days, Billy.
Yeah, my legs are warmed up now.
Yeah.
We're heading to the barn. Big day tomorrow. Lord willing, we'll have her all wrapped up.
We made her, buddy.
We made her. You ready for some packing?
Yeah. Let's do her.
That's the duty today. She is windy. A little bit of spit and drizzle, but not bad. Yeah, she's blowing up here. A little windy. I was very apprehensive for this pack out. This was no fewer than the 60th bear hide I've packed out of the Alaskan wilderness. Along with 40-some moose, 40-some sheep, and more caribou than I care to remember. All while having the attitude that I could pack as much weight as any other man. And well, that belief had come full circle for me on this hunt. 6 months earlier, after fighting years of back, hip, knee, and foot pain, I finally had an x-ray and discovered a compression fracture in my spine. It's gonna be a heavy hide. 100 pounds, I'm sure. All of that. I don't know if this old man can do it.
9'10".
9'10", yeah, we got him nice and close. Good bear, figure he's got a 27-inch skull. So we are going that way. All right, let's see what we can do here.
What can I help you with?
Not too much. Well, just to pull me up.
Okay.
Then probably step on my feet, then just really just lean back. Okay. The injury was very old, and I'm still not sure when it actually happened, but the doctor said one vertebrae was 60% compressed, and the 2 vertebrae above it and 2 vertebrae below it had basically fused together to protect the injury. He went on to explain how my body has been compensating, likely for decades, which manifested in muscle imbalances, improper mechanics, and ultimately pain throughout my body.
Getting heavier already.
As I lugged this hide, every step was laser focused. The cold breeze, the taste of salt from my sweat, and strangely, the heft of my pack felt familiar and comforting. My anxiety waned, and confidence that I could do it compounded with each stride. A mile in, I knew I would make it back to camp. But I also came to terms that my body was in desperate need of rest and recovery. My 90, 60, and even 40-day stints of guiding are behind me. I've felt the Lord calling me into ministry since August 17th, 2011. This hike was just one of hundreds of events in my life that served to confirm that just like fighting nature, fighting God is a losing battle. As we trudged along, I knew the Lord was aligning my path with His in real time.
After we shot the bear, you said we did it. Now I say we did it. Good job, brother. Thank you.
Buddy. We made it.
Yes. Excellent work.
I'll set those outside.
Come on in. I got you some tea, some sweet tea.
You're awesome.
Did you see that bear up on top of the knob? It was right in that first clearing.
I didn't.
Yeah, that's why I was going so fast home. Yeah, he was just bedded down, kind of out in the open. I don't know, might have been a sow of cubs, I don't know, but I watched it. I don't think it saw us. It was just bedded there. Yeah. Yeah, be a good day to be laying out of the wind. We made her. That's a good feeling, isn't it?
Yes. Good feeling to have it off your back.
Yeah. We are done. We are done. Day 11. Took 11 days, 12 days in the field. It's kind of like a lifetime, isn't it?
A lot of hours.
Yeah.
A lot of hours on the hill. Dealing with the elements, the wind, the sun. We even had sleet, snow, rain.
Yeah. All things considered, though, weather was really, really good. Really good. I'm tired. Yeah. I'm gonna take a nap. I am bushed. It was after midnight when we got to bed. Mike was up all night with cramps last night. I didn't sleep that great either. Got up about 6, tossed and turned. Yeah, sleep's gonna come easy tonight. I'm the type, if I wake up and it's daylight, I ain't sleeping, so we're going to bed early tonight. This is what your face will look like after you eat freeze-dried food for 10 days and then sleep for 11 hours. And, well, I woke up sleeping on my stomach, so my face was down. Yeah, I feel like I got beat with a baseball bat. Coffee's gonna solve all the world's problems. This guy doesn't even drink coffee.
Hot chocolate's good.
My grandpa said, never trust a man without a vice. Do you have any vices?
Vices, Diet Coke.
Oh, yeah, you do. You're terrible on diet. That's friggin' poison, man. Be better off drinking water out of a beaver stream than drinking Diet Coke, but
I think we have.
I still love you, brother.
Thank you. Love you too.
Now there's no beavers up here that I've ever seen. So the plan is we are going to I don't know if we'll maybe get out of here this afternoon. The wind's supposed to lay down, otherwise tomorrow looks pretty good. But yeah, we're just laying low. Supposed to get some rain this afternoon, and basically we're just a couple of hound dogs licking our wounds after a 3-day chase, basically. Eat some more freeze-dried food. Yeah, tell lies. Enjoy life. It'll happen when it happens.
Looking back on this hunt, the things that I would remember most are just I love the outdoors. It's a spiritual place for me. It's being at one with nature. It's almost as if it heals my soul. It gives me a peace and allows me to get back to the everyday life of hustle and bustle that life throws at us. I need this break. It's vital for me so that I can function in that high stress environment that I work in. The breathtaking scenery is just the rivers and seeing nature at its finest. I've seen so many animals that you're just spotting how they live on a daily basis. It's beautiful, it's majestic, but yet it's deadly as well when you look at the brown bear, the wolves. There's so much that can be taken from this harsh environment, but from the plane rides in to the weather to the just sitting and joking with fellowship with friends, the total experience the experience has been the experience of a lifetime. I don't know what else to say about it. It's pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. If we would have shot that 9-foot plus, 9.5-foot plus bear on the first day, it was coming right towards us. With it being the first day of the hunt, I would have missed out on so many experiences. The moose walking right beside us, the sow with cubs walking through the pond, the bald eagles flying right over us. We had beautiful warm days, and most days were cold, high winds, and sunshiny. So I would have missed out on a lot of opportunities. I saw a sow charge a boar and slap him in the chest to get him away from her cubs. It was pretty impressive. And just seeing nature and wildlife in its own natural habitat, living daily, I would have missed all of that. Crossing the rivers. That was probably some of the best water I think I've ever drank in my life. Stopping in the river and just filling up a bottle full of that cold, refreshing water. Especially after hiking.
Yeah, there's something about dipping a water bottle into the creek. It's like, it's so basic, it's so pure, there's a connection to that there isn't when you take it from a tap. It's totally different. And you know, when we sit on that hill and you watch that water run, you know, and you don't, it's not like you're thinking about it all the time, but it's like every once in a while it is, look at that river. It's the same every day. It is consistent, it's honest, it's pure. The sparrows are singing every day. The porcupine is doing his thing. He's always working, he's always eating. The seagulls are flying. The wolves are doing what they're doing. We're watching, you know, all the intricacies of that pack. But nature is, it never stops. That river is always flowing. The birds are doing what they're supposed to be doing. The porcupine's eating. The wolf is hunting. The salmon are off doing their thing. They're staging, getting ready to come up into those areas. The bears are breeding. They're taking advantage of the grass. It's so honest, it's so pure, it's so simple. Everything does exactly what it's supposed to do. And when you get to be here and you're a part of that, you're watching that bull moose and you see the new life, his antlers are growing. You can see those, the bull caribou, they've got long points that are new and growing. The cows, caribou, are just getting ready to calve. They have last year's old antlers, so they're hard, so they can fight to fend off the predators. And you just see how everything's connected. We could see the green coming up, you know, through the course of this 10 days, particularly. And then you start to hone in on what's happening this year. I've never seen so much activity in that lake area, where this year that was kind of a hotbed. Normally it's this way, but the wind is different, the weather is slightly different, and so you never figure it out. But you're learning, you know, from all those years past. You're learning from all that experience, all your hunting experience, all my guiding experience, particularly in this area. But then each year is something slightly different, and so you put those pieces of the puzzle together, and you recognize, man, these bears, everything seems like it's 2 to 3 miles out or farther. Yeah. And then you just got to keep going, put one foot forward, exercise what you believe to be true and what you know to be best, and stick with that. There's a time to alter, you know, a time to change plans, particularly you get late in a hunt and you got to be more aggressive. But we were talking about that river at the beginning, you know, why doesn't that, you see this river valley and it basically goes straight to the ocean. Yeah. But that river does this the whole way. That's life.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's not a linear straight line shot. It's every bend is a new riffle. There's a new log jam or a sweeper or a pool that you've got to navigate through. And that's just like a hunt, that's just like life. All those things that you encounter and experience, those help you on the next bend.
That's right.
Those make it fresh, those make it interesting, those make you feel alive. If we came out here, Alaska wouldn't be Alaska, like you said. You come out here, it's so harsh, it's so unforgiving, it's like nothing could live out here. You go hunt you go hunt in Mexico, you know you got to be prepared for briars, you know, thorns, and heat. You go to the Arctic, you got to be ready for cold and snow. You come to Alaska, you got to be ready for everything. Yeah, that's what makes it hard, that's what makes it challenging, that's what makes it intimidating, that's what keeps most people from doing it. But that's where life is lived.
That's right.
And I've always said, life is lived in the valley. The mountaintops, everybody wants the mountaintop experiences, but if you want true mountaintop experiences, you got to go through the valleys to get to them.
Great example is, you know, almost 10 years ago when I was hit from behind in an automobile accident. Life was going great. I faced adversity. It brought me close to my family. It brought me close to God, and it brought a lot of healing to my life. Slowed things down a lot. You know, I wasn't as much in the rat race at that point. I slowed down, and I began to try to make it a point to come on some of these adventures before my days up. My days are up. So definitely adversity teaches me way more than success. And I think that's what we faced in this hunt. We faced a little adversity, and
That's what made it great.
That's what made it a great
Like,
hunt.
like
That's
the
right.
old adage, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to go through hell to get there.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
there's so much of that in this world. This wouldn't be what it is, and it wouldn't even be worth doing if you came out here and it's just a lush, rolling green pasture, and there's bears. There's a bear, there's a bear, there's a bear.
Pick the one you want.
Which one? You like him? You like that coat? There's none of that. There's none of that.
No.
You've got to take, it's just like life. You got to learn from your mistakes. You got to try to enjoy every second of it. Recognize that all these things that you're going through are going to help you some way along the line. The old adage, life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. And that it's like floating down an unnavigated river. You don't know what's behind each bend, and you don't know when it ends. And that's the adventure.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just
that's
got to
correct.
take it as it comes, because it's all going to be over. When you don't get what you expect, that is life. That's life at its finest, and I think that's adventure, but that's what a person needs to recognize and kind of savor and enjoy, because that's it. I think that's it. That's what keeps it interesting. That's what keeps... So you don't have just the straight shot to the ocean. There's all kinds of winds and curves.
Yes.
And if you can embrace that and enjoy that, I almost kind of think I wouldn't say that's like the key to happiness, but it's somewhere pretty dang close to that.
Yes, it is. Yes.
James, Paul, Peter, they all said, take joy in trials and tribulations. And the world definitely doesn't tell you that. It's like, no, just do you, just be happy, follow your bliss. Follow your bliss. Well, yeah, you won't know what bliss is until you have a little bit of hardship and endure and overcome, you know. I look back, the sock to ibuprofen ratio when I first started guiding here is like I didn't even bring my medical kit consisted of a thing of athletic tape. Now I have athletic tape, muscle relaxers. I got a couple of codeine in there, a bunch of ibuprofen and aspirin. So now my socks are down and my ibuprofen and drug level is going way up. Yeah, I got three pairs of socks, and I just tapped into my third one here today.
I brought plenty of socks, but I also brought plenty of ibuprofen too.
Yeah. Ibuprofen is handy.
And you've had joints that have been worked on, it certainly helps tremendously.
Yeah. There he is. The sparrow is singing away. So, weather's not bad. It's not so windy now, but the plan is we'll probably just try to get out of here tomorrow. So yeah, we get one more day in camp. That's all right. Kind of let it all simmer and savor it all. But a good hunt, man. These are the hunts that you remember. It's the short ones. It just isn't quite the same.
No.
It's nice, but all you got is like a picture. And it's cool having history. Presumably that was the same bear we saw in that exact same location. You know, I talk about how you learn things from seasons past, and early in the hunt I told Mike, I'm like, yeah, it seems like the boars, they run a circuit of like 3 to 5 days. You know, you see them kind of in one area, or you see one bear every 3 to 5 days. They kind of patrol their area. They got areas here, here, and here, and then they kind of intersect. And that's about what it was. That bear was probably about 5 days earlier. We saw him right in that same spot.
Yep.
And he bedded. As a matter of fact, he bedded. We didn't see where he bedded the first time, but he bedded somewhere in that ridge, because he kind of disappeared. And then 7 p.m. we saw him appear and kind of basically bedded darn near right where we shot him.
Yeah.
So yeah, you learn and you put those pieces of the puzzle together. That's what makes it interesting. And you know, how long, like if we were drinking coffee or not paying attention or sitting there BSing, how long did we see them? You know, I spotted him, and then we watched him, and then he bedded down. Was basically he's out of sight in the brush.
Mm-hmm.
There was probably like a couple minute window.
Yeah, that we would have actually seen him and coming down that hill.
Yeah.
Wasn't very long.
Right, and that happens several times throughout the hunt. Is you see, oh, there's a bear, and you get a glimpse of him for a couple of minutes. and then it's gone, and you don't see them again the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And so you sit there for hours and hours and hours, and you're kind of just moving and you're daydreaming, and all of a sudden something, whoop, there he is. You got to put that time in on that glass. There's no shortcuts out here.
Yeah.
Just got news. We're not getting picked up today. Should be tomorrow. So just like it taking a long time to get the bear, it's just one more day until that shower. Just think how much better it's going to feel tomorrow than it would today.
That's right. That's right.
And what I'm kind of looking forward to a cold beer, anything other than a freeze-dried meal. I want like a burger. I want some of that caribou sausage with onions that we had.
I want some fresh food.
Yeah, fresh food would be good. Some fruit.
Something different than noodles and
Yeah.
freeze-dried.
Carbs, salt, sugar, and yeah, everything's got salt and sugar. Eating out in the bush. Yeah, not terrible, but we should get out of here tomorrow. Weather forecast looks good. All's good. Yeah.
Good. Just hanging out in the cabin.
Yep. Life is good. Better, way better than a tent.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Those are ideal camp shoes. Pull up your pant legs there. Show some skin. Oh yeah, look at that. Rubber at the bottom, slip on. Kind of look like something my grandpa would wear. He used to wear these big boat, thick-soled things at the end of his life when he was in his 90s. It's no wonder they kind of look like Ronald McDonald shoes, but...
Well, I am old enough to be a grandpa, Billy.
Yeah, right. We might be spending another night here. Gonna have to put another log on the fire. She's rainy and foggy. Couldn't stand the rain patting on my rain gutter last night, so I had to take that down. Viz ain't so hot. He's working for a living. Yeah, we did. Saw lots of critters.
Caribou, moose. How many porcupines do we see?
Like at least 4 different ones. Every time we went anywhere, we saw a porcupine.
Moose, bull moose, cow moose.
No calves.
No.
I think I've seen like 1 calf out here ever.
Yeah, I don't know how they can survive in this area.
Yeah. Wolves and bears keep them pretty thin. I hear a plane a-coming. And if I hear it, it's pretty close. It's pretty much about all she wrote. Great adventure. Time to head home. I'll be back in July. You'll be back. What are we thinking? Grizzly caribou.
Caribou.
September 2024.
Sheep, grizzly, caribou, something like that. Yeah.
Alrighty, brother. Looking forward to it.
Yes, let's do it.
The bittersweet. How's it feel?
Well, it's kind of good and bad. You know, I'll be glad to get home and see the family. But on the downside, I'm having to leave this beautiful place.
Yep.
But I would like a shower.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm getting easier going the older I get. So you can go up to your knee there.
That's kind of backwards.
Yeah, it is kind of. So then
I can
do this one. If it helps, go. And then just lean right up in there, okay? Like, you know.
Couldn't ask for a better hunt. Saw a lot, learned a lot, experienced a lot. Been out here since the 6th. So been out here for, gosh, 17 days. Time to go home. Anxious to see the kids. My little girls both expressed to me last fall, right during hunting season, they're like, Daddy, when are you gonna take me hunting? I've taken them hunting, but never actually them hunting. They've gone with me. They've shot 22s, shoot bows a little bit. It's time for Charlie and Frankie to do some hunting, so I'm looking forward to that. That'll be some fun guiding. When the Voyager shoves off from the headwaters, adjustments are required. Dragging is often necessary, log jams need to be cut out, and while potential consequences are there, in general the dangers are manageable. As he ventures on, the seasoned explorer pays attention to every detail. He settles into a rhythm with his surroundings. Even in moments of rest, he is anticipating and preparing for what lies ahead. The scale and magnitude of every deep, lazy pool is polarized by sharper bends and wilder rapids. Eddies and sweepers are more numerous and perilous. The river of your life and mine is unique. We know the ocean lies ahead, but this journey is uncharted and indefinite. Every man will bask in the sunshine just as every man will be forced to endure storms. There will be tailwinds and headwinds so strong no current and no amount of paddling will overcome them. Sometimes we will hear or discern the waterfall ahead by the narrowing gorge before us and be able to portage around it, but eventually there will be times we get caught off guard and are forced to simply hold fast and ride it out. But rest assured, in every oxbow, sandbar, confluence, cutbank, and capsize, God has a purpose. If this life were a straight, line-of-sight shot, it would be as empty and useless as a guide's pocketbook. Personally, after a few days of fair winds, good fishing, and life being easy, I tend to get complacent, sloppy, and bored. I seem to come alive when the turns are sharp and the canyon walls get narrow. Time to go home. As my abilities and shortfalls, my fears, pride, and insecurities are all run through the sluice, it's only then do I find any color, any elements of true value that may lie within me. Scripture promises as we draw near to God, He will draw near to us. In the fires and floods where our natural, physical abilities fail us, every bend, every lesson learned, every conversation shared, every failure and triumph flashes before us at warp speed. When we surrender to His plan and His design, the storm ceases. When we yield to and trust Him as our guide, we become supple, like gold, and our true identity is fostered. As we obey Christ, as the river submits to gravity, we find patience and perseverance. We discover the power and boldness to carve granite. We are able to give life to those around us, to change the world, and one day when this adventure ends, we will rest peacefully with Him who created us.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, now the only problem is I don't know if I could ever go back to hand propping.
I hear that. That's what I tell my wife all the time.
yeah, exactly.
She thinks I should go back to hand propping.
The real thing.
Roger that, she thinks I should go back to hand propping.
Yeah. Well, it does keep your fitness level up there.
It ain't grits and gumbo, but how about some caribou and mashed potatoes and gravy?
That sounds incredible.
And onion.
Sounds incredible.
Oh, onion. I've so crave the two foods that I maybe crave the most when I'm out here, always anymore, last 5-6 years, onions and garlic. For some reason, I just really crave onions and garlic. I like them at home too, but like out here, they seem to be everything.
Yeah.
Garlic especially. Maybe because my wife tells me I stink because I eat so much garlic. She's like, "Oh, have you been eating garlic?" Yeah. She can smell anything. She's like freaking part grizzly bear. And when I try to mate her, she pushes me in the chest like that sow did last night. It was kind of funny. It was like a couple of kids at a bully pushing a kid into the locker last night. This boar was trying to get it on maybe with this sow right here. That sow just ran up to him and kind of ran a couple of steps on her back feet and just went boom, just pushed him with her paws right in the chest and kind of set it back. Fun watching.
Don't make me open up a can of whoop ass on you.
Well, I'm coming down there today. Somebody's fixing to get an ass whooping. I don't want no ass whooping. What that what Daryl said?
Yeah. Well, I don't want an ass whooping.
I don't want no ass whooping.
Well, how big a boy are you? I'm 6'4", 300 pounds. Well, dang, I might as well bring me a lunch then.
My wife Sharon came down there today to look at a car, and I don't care the way you talk to her. Talking about how comfortable the back seat was, how big it was. And she said you wanted to show her your probe. I didn't do that, sir. You call my wife a liar? I'm not calling anybody a liar.
How big and spacious the back seat is. Oh.
Yeah. Lots of history on these walls.
Yes.
Lots of history on these walls.
Still a lot of big bears around.
Oh yeah, 10-8, 10-8, 9-1, 8-4, 9-6, 18 times with a 375. Kind of looks like somebody added the 1 there. 10 foot, 9-6, 8, what was that, 8-11, 8-10, 9-6, 9-10. Now you're graced the walls of the cabin.
I have.
Mike Schenkel, you've arrived.
Not far from arrived.
Yeah. You could die now. You're gonna go to heaven now.
Mike's fishing for a sponsorship deal here.
No, I just want to give Tim praise here. This is the Smith's custom rifle that Tim Smith out of Pennsylvania built for me.
Tim Smith.
Tim Smith.
Tim Smith, Tim Smith, Tim Smith.
Yeah. 375 Ultra Mag. This is the third animal that I've shot with this rifle. I shot a moose at about 479 yards. Wasn't planning on shooting it. Thank God I was able to connect with it. 2 shots, less than 2 inches apart, put him down. I killed a Kodiak bear with it. And then, of course, yesterday I shot our big Alaskan Peninsula brown bear with it. So, Tim does an excellent job. I can't thank him enough for building an excellent rifle. It's extremely accurate. I'm shooting a 300 grain Swift A-frame
Burger.
bullet.
Oh, Swift A-frame. Yeah.
Swift A-frame bullet that Billy recommended.
Yeah. And did it work good?
It worked.
Where is that bullet? Let's see that thing. You got it handy?
Yeah.
Or is it stored?
No, it's right here.
Okay. All right, are you done with your Tim Smith plug?
Yep, that's all.
What's his name again?
Tim Smith.
Tim Smith. Tim Smith. Anybody looking for a good rifle? Contact Tim Smith today. Mention Mike Schenkel, get a 5% discount, and a free box of burger bullets. And I told Mike yesterday, from now on I am charging every hunter a $1,000 surcharge who has a muzzle brake on his rifle, and then I'm charging you an additional $500 per shot. I was right, Mike's head was right here when I shot, and that thing still blew my eardrums out, but he didn't have anything. I think they've got those things so perfectly engineered that it's like a cone that comes out and it misses the hunter's ears by about an inch. So if you're not directly behind that thing, you're gonna get blasted. Yeah, because it's gonna be called the Hearing Aid Fund. Because I'm about already half deaf. Look at that. Now that thing will tear you up. On the hide and the opposite side, that's what you want. Yeah, that's good.
300 grain. Still got a good bit of weight to
I'll
it.
bet it's, yeah. Swift A-frame is good, but that's pretty good. TSX is good, but that's good too. TSX, that's I don't know why, that's not saying that's like the best, but I've just seen such good consistent performance. That's fine too.
Yeah, well that's what I had was a 250 TSX, and then you wanted me to have 300 grain, so I sighted it in with the 300 grain bullet. Of course, this bullet out of that gun, I shoot a 3-shot group at .3. It's extremely accurate.
Tim Smith.
Smith's Custom Rifles.
Got a phone number for us and a website?
SmithsCustomRifles.com.
There we go! SmithsCustomRifles.com. Hey, I got my own rifle sponsor coming. Flat Creek Precision. Best rifles on the market today.
There you go.
Yeah, I had this guy reach out to me. His name's Charlie Barons. Actually, it's FlatCreekRifles.com, and that Flat Creek Rifles is the name of his business. And he's like, yeah, well, my partner is Tim McCorder. You ever heard of him? I'm like, actually, I had this knucklehead hunt with a Tim McCorder rifle here last year. Shot a sheep at 9,000 yards. But so I'll be plugging my own rifles next time. Yeah, got clients with more sponsors than I have.
Well, maybe we could think of a few more Roy D. Mercer.
Yeah, Roy D. Mercer. My wife Sharon. This is Roy D. Mercer. You Darrell? How big an old boy are you?
I better bring a lunch then.
My God. Now answer me truthfully. Do you smell me as I'm walking back and forth in here?
I can't get past my own stench.
Oh, okay, perfect. Because this sleeping bag is a 0-degree bag, and I've been sweating every night. And it's pretty rank. It's not good. Could change the underwear, but I'm just going to sweat in the next pair, so what's the sense? Oh, it's a beautiful day. Now, Mike, what could possibly go wrong here? Based off of my behavior, do you think it's not possible that I could light that thing on fire?
It's possible, yeah.
No, it's probable.
So let me slide that there. And this here.
Well, no, well, yeah, of course, then if that thing dropped and then fell into that thing, and we'd have all kinds of fun.
It's drying out though.
Yep. We've been here for a month, it looks like.
For more modern-day mountain man DVDs and digital downloads, log on to BillyMollsAdventures.com. Here you'll also find books, a wide variety of merch, and information on hunting opportunities with Billy. When he's not hunting, Billy travels nationally and internationally as a public speaker, sharing his captivating, soul-stirring tales of adventure by way of his one-of-a-kind, down-to-earth delivery at corporate and community events, Christian outreaches, and conservation organizations. Just like the Alaskan wilderness, no one leaves a Billy Molls presentation the same person as they enter it. Log on or call for more info.